So today we're going to talk about 5 completely free APIs that are honestly absolute game changers for your next project. Let's just dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? You get this flash of inspiration, this amazing idea for an app. But then, reality hits. Suddenly, you're thinking, how am I going to handle all the user data? How do I make the UI look good before it's even done? And how do I add all this complex stuff without coding for weeks on end?
Well, the good news is you really don't have to build it all yourself. I mean, that's not what modern development is about. It's about using powerful, pre-built tools to do the heavy lifting for you. And that's exactly where APIs, or application programming interfaces, come into play. They're like these incredible building blocks that let you add amazing features with just a couple of lines of code.
I want you to think of these 5 APIs as your new secret developer toolkit. Seriously, each one is designed to solve a very specific and, let's be honest, a very annoying problem that we all face every single day. So let's open up the toolbox and see what we've got inside.
Okay, first up, the user interface. Nothing, and I mean nothing, makes an app feel more unfinished than just a bunch of empty boxes where beautiful images are supposed to go. It's just so hard to get a feel for the design, and it's even harder to show it off to anyone.
So what do? Your UI desperately needs pictures, but you don't have the final assets yet. You need something fast, flexible, something that just works. You need placeholder images, and you need them like yesterday.
Meet your new best friend for UI development, Lorem Pixum. This thing is a brilliant little API that does one job, and it does it perfectly. It just serves up random, beautiful placeholder images. And the best part? It is ridiculously simple to use. All you have to do is hit its URL and just tell it the dimensions you need, like, say, 200 by 300 pixels. And boom, you've got a clean, professional-looking placeholder right in your app. No more ugly gray boxes. Just think of the time you'll save.
All right, our UI is looking sharp, so let's move on to what really drives any application, the data. Whether you're in those early testing phases or you're building a huge data-rich app for the real world, how you handle data is absolutely crucial.
Just picture this for a second. You're building out your app. You need to see how it's going to perform with, 100 users, or maybe 1,000 blog posts. Manually creating all that content would take forever. You need realistic, structured, fake data to make sure everything works the way it's supposed to.
And this is where JSON Placeholder just swoops in to save the day. It's a fantastic, free API that lets you generate all sorts of fake data. You need users, posts, comments, photos. It's got endpoints for all of them, serving up clean JSON you can plug right into your project. This is an absolute lifesaver for stress testing things like pagination or database performance before you even have a single real user.
Okay, fake data is awesome for testing. But what happens when your app needs to connect with the real world? What if you're building something like a fitness tracker, a recipe app, or a shopping assistant? You need real, actual information.
For that, we've got Open Food Facts. This is this massive, crowdsourced database of food products from all over the world. With its API, you can look up items just by their barcode or other details and get back this wealth of information, everything from ingredients to nutritional values.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. You can see you could scan the barcode on a snack like goldfish crackers, and the API sends back its name, nutritional info, all that good stuff. Imagine building this into a health app where a user just scans their pantry and gets an instant dietary analysis. That is an incredibly powerful feature, and you could probably build it in an afternoon with this.
So, we've got a great-looking UI, and we're handling our data like a pro. Now let's make our apps smart. These next 2 tools, they add this layer of functional intelligence that can save you a ton of coding and make your app feel so much more intuitive.
I mean, let's be real. Has any developer ever said they love working with dates and time zones? It's a notorious headache, right? All the conversions, the validation, the formatting, it just leads to messy code and so many frustrating bugs.
Well, you can just offload that entire headache to Digidates. This API is built specifically to handle all of your time and date functions. I mean, think about the nightmare of calculating the time difference between New York and Tokyo, and then you have to account for daylight saving. Ugh, Digidates just handles it. It manages conversions, validates formats, and it can even give you human-readable versions like 2 hours ago. It turns a really complex problem into one simple API call.
All right, for our final tool, let's talk about the ultimate in smart functionality, understanding human language. How do you get your app to respond not just to button clicks, but to what a user actually says or types?
That's the magic of Wit.ai. It's a really powerful natural language processing platform that lets your application understand what your users are trying to do. Someone can type "set a timer for 5 minutes" or say, "what's the weather in London?" And Wit.ai can actually parse that sentence to figure out the user's intent and pull out the key info.
Now, it's really important to be clear about something here. We're not talking about large language models like ChatGPT, which are all about broad conversation and generating content. Wit AI is more like classic natural language processing. It's laser-focused on understanding specific commands and extracting key details. This makes it absolutely perfect for things like Internet of Things projects, hey, smart light, turn blue, or for handling specific user queries in any app. It's all about direct action, not open-ended chit-chat.
And there you have it. 5 incredibly powerful, totally free tools that solve 5 very common problems. Your developer toolkit just got a major upgrade. You're ready to build faster, smarter, and just better. So let's do a super quick recap of the solutions we just unlocked. For stunning UI mockups in seconds, you've got Lorem Pixum. For solid testing without all that manual data entry, there's JSON Placeholder. To hook your app into the real world, you can tap into Open Food Facts. To finally stop fighting with date and time logic, you use DigiDates. And to make your app actually understand what your users want, you have Wit.ai.
Every single one of these tools is a shortcut. It's a way to skip the tedious, boring parts and get right to building the unique, creative features that make your app special. So the only question left is, with all these tools at your disposal, what are you going to build next?